This is my second-hand pre-mart Varsity Jacket. It's the perfect in-between jacket. Not too heavy, not too light, not on trend, not played out. But it's missing the most important detail of a varsity. The patches. I'm going to make my own, but of what?
And it's thousands of years
Oh,
of history
no,
that
this
we've been
prick. I'm here at St. Sir's Church in Dunnings to see something old. This is the Dublin Cross. I don't want to do that a third time. Thank you so much, that was very embarrassing. It's a 10th century Pictish cross, right from the time that missionaries were turning the Picts away from their old gods. But it's the old gods that I'm interested in. The meaning of Pictish symbols have largely been lost to time. There are the animals and the tools, but what's a Z-rod? And it's this lack of meaning that makes them so meaningful to me, and why I want to use them for the patches on this jacket. I've settled on two designs, the Z-rod and serpent for the back patch, and the triple discs for the front. I start with the back patch, and lay out sheets of paper on the jacket to find the maximum size of the patch. This is joined together with washi tape, and I carefully sketch out the design. At this stage, I'm only interested in the serpent. Oh, come on, get out. It's time to dig in the scrap boxes for materials. Aha! Right, I had to go and find something special. This is a collection of Japanese linen, I think? Maybe it's cotton, who knows, but this was a gift that I've been saving. Definitely going to use this for the Z-rod. Let's see what else I picked out. Both of these are contenders for the snake, but I think if there's enough material in this horrible scarf, I will use this for the snake, but also this could be quite fun. I got these bits for some nice details. I was going to use these for something specific, but it's just really nice wool. Use your scraps, because this over here, this is getting out of control again. The scarf is perfect, and I cut myself a section. Iron on some fusible lining, pin the pattern in place, and eyeball a seam allowance. I then cut into the seam allowance to add easing to the curves for when I turn the raw edges, and quickly give up on the idea of pressing the edge over. I add scaly details in neon green with the machine, and cut myself some of the embroidered gold dots to use for eyes. These are hand-stitched into place. I'll clean those up later. I decide to turn the edge now with a backstitch while I'm waiting outside my kids' gymnastic class and by the fire at my in-laws. This does mean that there will be 2 lines of stitching on the serpent's outlines, but I'm okay with that. I put the Z-rod back together and brew myself a traditional Pictish tea. The yellow is trimmed to size, pressed, and fusible lining is added. Pinned and cut, these straight edges are easier to turn, and I get a sense of what I'm making. I baste the corners into place for now. I fuss with colours but decide to use the red and the blue for the Z-rod ends. These repeating circles appear often in Pictish stones, but I didn't have the confidence to achieve this complex shape, so chose to make my life simpler with straight edges. Hello there. That looks interesting. Thanks. It's a patch from a jacket. What's with the cameras? I'm making a YouTube video about it. And people watch that? No, but I enjoy it. You should ask people to subscribe. It'll help you stand out in the algorithm. Yeah, no, I do know. It's just, it feels a bit weird doing it. I'm out and about again this weekend, just doing Scottish stuff. Which is often a mix of beautiful, depressing, and weird. But we need to get this project finished. I've prepared some fabric and packed some basic tools. And set to work on the front patch. I'll be freehanding this part, and I feel I should admit, if it wasn't already obvious, that I'm not particularly good at this. Certainly not compared to the examples of hand stitching you'll find in my parents' home. This isn't a how-to video for perfect turned edge appliqué. This is a go-do video. Try it for yourself. See if you have a talent for it. It's relaxing, the tools and materials are accessible, and you may enjoy it. Definitely worth an hour or two to find out. I'm back home and it's time to finish the back patch. I've prepared myself this sheet of white for mounting everything on, and I'm going to switch over to the sewing machine only because it's going to be a bit faster and I need to get this film finished. But also, it's maybe going to be a bit nearer. I don't know. Both options are totally valid, and however you wish to progress is your choice. But for the back, let's see how it works on the machine. You lost a sticker? First, I sew down the turned edges of the Z-rod corners and the ends. Then lay it out on the backing. I mark the point the serpent crosses the rod and sew it into position. I can now position the serpent, weaving it between the layers. Because the two parts layer over and under each other, I can't run one line of stitching, so I have to stop and restart. Something that would have looked cleaner with a hand stitch. Finally, I place the last Z-rod end, which I had turned outside a swimming class. Sew it in place and finish the stitching on the Z-rod. Then the serpent with some fancy machining. With the patch finished, I pull the basting stitches, realise I've been working on the wrong side, fucking idiot, trim the backing, settle into a film while I stitch the patches onto the jacket, and this is the finished garment. That was a genuine set of Neolithic standing stones, by the way. I dragged my entire family up that hill to get that shot, but it was entirely worth it. As was making this patch. I'm very, very pleased with myself. My cats are also very pleased because they've been using it as a cushion, so now it's just absolutely bogging. Less happy with the front patch. Mainly because I put it on squint. It's okay, it definitely adds to the jacket, it makes it coherent, but it's not as good as this. This is great, so pleased with myself. I still haven't finished all the sewing. There was a point where I thought I was going to machine stitch this into place, and I'm really glad I didn't. I'm really glad I did the work because it doesn't poke through into the lining. I mean, it does. There's a couple of bits where it's made it through. So there was a lot of hand stitching on this project, which was a nice change, to be honest, because it meant that the sewing could come with me where I was going, which I highly recommend. Having a wee sewing project in your bag, it's a great way of filling time. Avoid staring blankly into your phone. None of those mushrooms were what I might have been alluding to. The whole Pictish tea bit was just to set up the snake, which I don't know if I fully committed to, but there was an edit where I made more psychedelic effects, but it just kind of detracted from actually telling you how to sew, so I cut it. Oh yeah, and one more thing, just give me a second. I'm gonna put the original artwork that I did for this project up on my Ko-fi page, put the link somewhere on screen. So if you wish to own it, it's available to you along with some other bits and pieces from the films that I make. Other business,
Firstly, thank you very much to anybody that watched the Alien Tea film. I've had really, really positive responses to that garment, and it's been really, really lovely. It's definitely the best thing I've made so far, I think. I mean, you can tell me in the comments, but so if you are able, in any capacity whatsoever, to help me find people to watch that film, that'd be hugely appreciated, because it's kind of, YouTube's finished putting it out into the world. It's decided that the video's done. So it's really going to be dependent on whether or not other people sharing it to other people. What's next is I've been saying this for a while, but yeah, Halloween film. I don't know if I'm going to manage to get it done. And as always, thank you so much for getting this far into the video. It's greatly appreciated. It's greatly appreciated. It is just hugely appreciated that you're watching this content. And I'm going to continue doing a terrible job doing this blanket stitch.